News and M Live, and they are here with me to talk about Mother's Day and specifically to congratulate Bob Johnson on becoming the editor of the newspaper and M Live. And we're going to talk about that. It is the second Sunday civics show that I've been doing this year, and we're going to talk about civics, some things that we need to do in order to stay engaged. We're going to be talking about those things. But I want to say again that it's Mother's Day, and I thank God for each and every one of you. I have many special Mother's Day family and friends that I want to name and give a few shout outs later on. But first, I want to introduce my guests and welcome them back to the studios of Community Connections. Bob Johnson, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I am doing well. Miss Sandra.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Now you are a educator. Are you retired?
I am retired.
You are retired. My goodness. Okay. That's a good thing.
A wonderful thing.
Wonderful thing. I know that you miss it. I know you miss all those babes there
I
at school.
do. I called them my babies. I miss them.
Well, I hope that your Mother's Day has been wonderful so far. And I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to come out and be with Bob. This is Bob's cousin. He affectionately calls her auntie to many cousins. And so she's going to be talking about Bob and talking about Mother's Day here on Community Connections. But I wanted to have Bob Johnson to come in to the studio and talk with us about this new position. I think it's a little over 30 days.
It's getting there.
Is it getting there?
Close, yeah.
That he has been the editor of the Saginaw News and M Live. Now, Bob, you are a very young 44 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you start your climb at the Saginaw News to become the editor? What were you doing initially, and what made you want to be a writer or a journalist?
Okay. And just to clarify, so we have this fancy term we use now instead of editor because it encompasses so much. So
Okay.
It's news leader, but editor. So I'm a manager and an editor, and
Okay.
For the Saginaw News and the Bay City Times for
And the Bay City Times. I did
Yep.
read that. I did read
both
that.
of those
And we do cover Bay
Yeah.
City too.
a lot. Yeah.
But you have so many people here, and I know you branch out to Bay City, but we love you here in Saginaw.
I love Saginaw as well.
Now, are you a native of Saginaw?
I am born and raised.
Born and raised right here. Grew up
Grew up in Saginaw
in the city of Saginaw.
City,
Hometown guy.
hometown.
Absolutely love it. Let me ask you this first, and we're going to go back to the civics thing.
Okay.
What was your first civics engagement?
Oh man, in my career,
Your career or otherwise? Growing up.
yeah. I don't know. I've always been involved in a lot of stuff, so it's just I can't think of my first time that I was involved or my civics engagement, but it'll come to me.
Okay, all right. Now, again, let's go back. What led you to wanting to become a journalist, a writer?
Right. So it was kind of like by mistake a little bit. Everybody who know me, they know I'm a curious person. I want to know things.
Mhm.
I want to learn about different stuff. If I don't know something, I'm constantly looking into it until I have an understanding of it. But I was going to Delta College, and I was in the electronic media broadcasting program. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but one of the instructors used to bring in writers from the Saginaw News and like the Midland Daily News or the Bay City Times. And to me, I was like, those are people who I grew up reading their bylines. So they were like famous to me.
Mhm.
And I'm like in the class, you know, being starstruck, and I end up getting like a job at the Delta Collegiate
Okay.
as a sports editor.
Mhm.
Even though that was just a reason to give me a job, I didn't do anything sports at all. And I just kind of I liked it. I landed a internship with the Saginaw News right before they went under the MLive umbrella.
Mhm. Mhm.
I did that for like a year, and then I was off and graduated from Delta, and I was working somewhere else. And one of my former editors reached out, and they told me I had a position. It was a part-time position. They want to know that if I would like to come back, and I was like, of course. And so I've been there ever since.
Now you've been there for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 or 11,
Okay.
something like that.
Now you know that Delta College is getting a new president, right?
Yep.
Okay. How did Delta prepare you in the electronic media? Did they prepare you for this job?
They did. Like it was through an instructor at Delta that I even got the internship. But the thing about Delta is Delta was like it's a really good college, and it's really affordable. And you put something like that in front of me, I want to learn everything. It's so cheap for me to take different classes and learn about different stuff. So my focus wasn't on writing until I started the job with the Delta Collegiate. Then I wanted to learn more about writing. And so I used to just take a bunch of just classes that didn't have a lot to do with my degree. And yeah, but them being affordable and flexible like that, being affordable and just having so much to for you to learn from, you know, so much to teach, so much to offer. So it was pretty good. It was a pretty good resource.
So Delta's going to have a new president. Okay. Do you think that you'll be interviewing that president?
At some point, somebody will.
Okay.
Definitely assign that story out to someone. And yeah, because we're going to want to know who it is, right? And Delta's such a big part of our community. We need to know who's leading it.
Yeah. I you know what? I have that question in my notes, and I'm kind of bouncing all over as we go through this. Right. Because getting a president that understands this community, is willing to get to know this community, someone who understands what is needed as this community continues to grow, and we have more people coming to go to school here.
Right.
Okay. You as, you know, a young person that graduated from Delta College, and now here you are, a manager, or I'm gonna call you editor.
Yes. No.
Could you possibly do that so that you could get a better perspective of that person? And will you be following in, like on the interviews? Like they have a list of things that they're going through now, and they hope to have someone in place in July.
Yeah.
Okay. And with an understanding, perhaps, of what this community is really looking for in a president, and what the colleges is looking for as well.
I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that, keep my ears open to that, and make sure that we covering the interview process and make sure that we are keeping, you know, the public informed.
That would be great. I want to make sure that I cover everything. So as you are a manager now, are you still giving yourself writing assignments, or do your assignments come from someone else?
Yeah, so no longer writing.
No longer writing.
Yeah, I do miss my time. I mean, my byline, but you know, now that I have, when I was a reporter, I wanted to cover everything, right? But you know, you only got 24 hours in a day. But now managing and editing, I think I'm even more impactful because I understand a lot of the issues from a broader range, and
Mhm.
it's like I have reporters under me who so now it's like more of me now. I have more of me, and they do pretty good work. Getting out and learning the community and learning what's important, and coming up with things that maybe I don't even see. And
Okay. Miss Sandra, I don't want
Yes.
to leave you out. When Bob was coming up, and you as an educator, um, did you see him being a journalist as he was a little guy coming up? Did you see him becoming an editor or a manager of the Saginaw News?
No, but one thing I can say is that Bob and his siblings, all of them were very intelligent and they were very creative and they were always into things. I'll put it like that. And
What was Bob into?
oh man, you write a
you know
book.
what? I'll just say that they were children. And my aunt and my uncle are also very intelligent. And one thing about that household, if you ever wanted to hear laughter,
Mm-hmm.
go to my uncle and aunt's household.
Okay.
And you were going to hear a lot of laughter. And you were going to hear a lot of insightful things. And everyone over there was quick on their wit.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Okay.
they could come up with things off the top of their head.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking back as an educator, you put all of those things together, that fits in later on. Someone who can think quickly,
Mhm.
someone who's insightful,
Mm-hmm.
someone who can interact with people. Hey, so when he went into the newspaper field, hey, it all fit in.
Okay, very good, very good. That's a little insight into the life and growing up of not Bob Martin, Johnson. I always want to call you Bob Martin, and I know
Well,
better. It's
We are Martins.
We are.
We a
oh, really?
huge family.
Okay, well, this is
Oh,
Bob Johnson, and if you just tuned in to Community Connections, Community Talk for Community People, you are listening to the voice of Bob Johnson, who is now the editor of the Saginaw News and M Live. He has climbed the ladder to get to this position. With me also is his aunt, who stands in the gap and who has stood in the gap for the last couple of years since your mom passed away, and with family members as that special aunt, special cousin. And we are just delighted that you are here.
Thank you.
Okay, now you climbed this ladder to the becoming the manager. I want to ask you, did you ever have to take 2 or 3 steps backwards as you were climbing the ladder?
yeah. So I did. I was in a couple different positions before this,
Mhm.
and even one was like more of a statewide type of position.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
yeah, and I want to say I didn't see this career path at
Mhm.
all. Some other circumstances happened, and I was prepared at the right time.
Mhm.
And but yeah, I bounced around. I was like a trending reporter for almost a year. I've been in like lead reporter for a few months, or just always was in some different type of role. I always wanted to be the local reporter. It was just it's a rush just knowing that you're doing some type of work that everybody's waiting to read,
Right, right.
or you put something out there nobody knew, or excuse me.
And you were the go-to guy for people here in Saginaw because everyone knew you. Everyone knows you.
Which could be a
And-
gift and a curse.
How was that?
It's a gift because I won't say that it's things come to me a lot easier when you have connections and when people know you.
Mhm.
But the curse part is things come at you all the time with no shut off. Like it's like, you have to remind people like, hey, I got a family, and I also, like to sleep at night and have fun on the weekends. Like I can't work 24 hours a day.
Okay, right.
But I mean, it's still fun just having that connection. I had to definitely in this position. I really gotta control my work and personal life balance, make that balance because it's real tedious.
Now, you said a couple of things. Trending. You said you were a trending reporter. Okay, what does that mean
So
exactly? Because you see it on the electronic news.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that trending mean for a reporter?
in ours, it just meant it was. It's like whatever was the hot topic across the nation, or what people are talking about. It's not necessarily the local thing, but it's just something that a lot. It could be a story out of DC, but as long as it's something that was that had a lot of interest outside of our local markets.
I see.
So
Are you responsible for localizing state and national news so that it applies to the local community? Because we look at
Yeah.
Saginaw, the Saginaw News and MLive. I know that they're across the state, but to make sure that we get the local perspective and that it's broken down so that it applies to us.
And see, that's one of the reasons I said I'm glad I'm in this position. Even though I miss reporting, I can be way more effective in this area because I understand how our community works and reacts, and the things that we need, the things that the context of things, stuff that's important that you just don't have any idea this type of stuff is important if you're not from here. You have no idea. Not to blame anyone, but it's just always good to have that local person in a position like that.
Okay, very good. So we're getting some inside details of how things work at the Saginaw News and on MLive. What was your first assignment with the Saginaw News? After you were a reporter, what's your first assignment?
I had two actually. There was this florist guy. I forget where he was or whatever, but I had to go and interview him. But then it was when I started my internship, it was like the week of Thanksgiving. I remember that because that's the first time I covered the Savoy was given. They when they were open, they were doing these Thanksgiving meals,
right.
Where they feed the community.
Right.
And so I was scared because I thought like I was gonna go through some type of training, when I walked in on my internship, and they were gonna be like, "This is what you do, this, and that." And no, as soon as I walked in, they just threw me on stories just that quick, and so I'm like, so that's why I never forgot those two.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to take a break right here. You are listening to Community Connections, Community Talk for Community People. My guest, Bob Johnson. He is the editor at the Saginaw News and MLive, and his cousin aunt, Sandra. She's here to share with us, and we'll be right back after this break. If you've just tuned in, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy Mother's Day. I hope that you are enjoying this day. The sun is shining brightly. The wind is going a little bit, but it's still a great day. It's a great day to be on this side of the earth. And I hope that you're enjoying it. You are listening to Community Connections, community talk for community people. I have guests in the studio, Bob Johnson, who is now the editor and manager at the Saginaw News and MLive, and also his cousin, Aunt Sandra Robinson, and she's here to support as moms do,
Right.
and to give us a little bit of insight about Bob Johnson. Now, what have you told students at the various career days about working as a journalist, and what kind of questions have you been asked by students, those young and those who are getting ready to graduate from school, from college?
So that's I'm glad you asked that, because I'm in the role right now, actively looking for a new reporter to replace the position that I vacated.
I see.
And so we start the interview process this upcoming week. And everyone is talking diversity. And that is a really hard thing to do in journalism, especially local journalism. You get some of the students go to college and they automatically want to go to the huge populated markets. Like they want to go to Atlanta or Chicago or DC, maybe Detroit. And then speaking of just journalists who write and are not on air talent, it's even harder to get them. But to answer your question, I just brought that up because we are actively, working on a few different things that we can do to start our journalists out earlier and make the pool a little more diverse at a younger age. But to answer your question, I tell them, learn as much as you can learn. As a journalist nowadays, you have to know how to record video or shoot photos from a phone. You have to have connections. The easy part is learning, what style you use. We use AP style. If
AP, tell us.
AP style, that's just a style book that tells you what letters to capitalize and when, or where to place a comma, just writing styles type of things.
So should that new person coming in or looking for a job know that?
Some of it, but it's a plus. It's definitely a plus, but it's also a learn as you go type of job too, because it changes a lot. So it's always good to have a supportive team. And that's what I like about our team currently. We all support each other. It's like a team that's growing together. And I can't wait till we get this new addition to it. So I look forward to that.
There are a lot of good things going on at the Saginaw News and MLive. Are you at liberty to share some of that stuff? See, I see it in the change of how the paper looks. Yeah.
Again, the whole diversity thing. I'm trying my hardest to make sure that our stories reflect the communities that we live in. And so like I said earlier, the advantage is that I'm from here. I grew up here, so I kind of, that's my advantage.
So you could lean toward getting someone who's been in this area, like you were when you first started. You could utilize somebody like that.
Oh yeah, yes, very much. That's the but that's the hard thing to do. And we started a chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists, a local chapter for Flint and Saginaw.
Yes.
And we still get trouble, trying to find diverse candidates. When people get out of school and they still young, they don't want to come back home.
They don't want to come back home. But there are a lot of young people.
Even if you're paying them good money, they still do not want to come back home.
It is at a smaller town, a smaller paper, that you are going to really learn a great deal.
Yep. And we don't pay bad, so
Don't pay. Okay. When is the deadline?
I'm still accepting applications.
Still accepting applications.
I'm gonna do some interviewing Monday. We got a few people lined up for interviews, and then I'll be on vacation for like a week, and
Okay.
we'll see how that shake out after that.
Okay. All right. You've heard it right from the manager, the editor's mouth that he is looking for candidates who want to become reporters, journalists. They need to know a little something, something. Whether you are, would you take someone who didn't have a degree?
That's another interesting thing because my only degree is associate's degree from Delta.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna?
I want to
go
finish.
back to school?
I want to finish. And that's my plan to finish that up. Finish up my bachelor's degree now.
You are a jewel for our community.
Thank you.
Sit in a very good place. Could even say precarious place, but you are a jewel for our community.
Thank you.
To see where you were and where you are now, that's really a good thing and an advantage for our community. You know about the community. Let's talk about that a little bit. You are on some boards. You work in the community. Tell us about some of the things that you are involved that keeps you connected to this community, Bob.
Oh man, I could so much. I can't even name all of the committees, but I know the main stuff is the chair for First Ward Community Service, the chair of that board.
You're the chairperson? Wow.
For the board.
For the board.
Saginaw Area Fireworks, I'm on that committee. The what is it? Where we do Friday Night Live and all that. Positive Results Downtown.
Yeah. Positive results in the downtown environment. I used to work for Pride.
Oh yeah.
Long time ago. I was their first employee.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's a lot of other committees I can't think of because I'm on the spot, but I definitely remember them as soon as I get Zoom reminders that we have board meetings and stuff like that.
And how is that working?
Oh,
the Zoom,
definitely
in this age of COVID.
Oh, the one I forgot was the Bridge Center for Racial Harmony.
Center.
Yeah. I can hear some of the members calling me now, like, you didn't say that show? I mean, you didn't say that committee. But the Zoom, I don't know. In the beginning, when we first went on lockdown, I thought it was convenient at first. It's like, okay, I don't have to drive halfway across town for a meeting. We can do it right here on Zoom.
Right.
But as it became more and more convenient to do, just like with everything else, then all of a sudden you get too much of it. Too much of it. And it's like you get off one Zoom meeting and then you're on a Teams meeting for work, and then it's a video call for this or that, and all at the same time. You still like trying to manage your time, employees, trying to work, trying to keep fires out. Yeah, all this type of stuff. And it seemed like it was a great idea at first, but now it's like my whole day is like filled up with video calls from someplace or another.
Well, as they begin to open up, different places, restaurants, community centers, the schools, your board, the boards that you sit on, they're going to have to decide how you guys are going to communicate.
Yeah,
it's going to be difficult.
Some of it makes sense, and there are other things that you really need human interaction. But a lot of it makes sense. It's just that we gotta look at the way we manage our time now differently as well, because if you think you have more time, then you get involved with more stuff, and then it weighs you down because you realize that, okay, I probably should slow down a little bit, and so.
But I want to go back to your responsibilities. Tell us a little bit about how the newspaper works in terms of what is covered the placement of those stories in the newspaper,
Mhm.
you know, is it a headliner, front page, or does it get buried in the back? Okay, how does that work? How are the stories chosen that will be in the newspaper,
So we
especially the Sunday edition?
yeah. So the Sunday, that is our big product. Um and it's a few different departments that work on that. Me, for example, I'm day to day coverage,
Mhm.
and try to reflect the community.
Mhm.
The department that prints or picks what's going in print,
Mhm.
they are looking at what we are producing and
Mhm.
trying to figure out what would be, good for the print side, for the actual newspaper.
Mhm.
Everything that we write is going to be on the M Live
In
site.
life, right?
So it's going to be on the M Live site, but just trying to figure out, what would make a good front page story, or like I think this Sunday it should be a Mother's Day type of story,
Mhm.
with some collaboration from probably a few different markets.
Mother's Day in the presence of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the day's. What is this? The byline,
The
not byline,
headline. Yep.
but headline. But it says lonely. All right,
Mhm.
now, how do you choose
We
the
collaborate.
way that you're going to present this?
We
Being
could
lonely
a lot of
versus.
collaboration, a lot of different collaboration,
Mhm.
depending on which market that came out of, because I'm pretty sure it's a few different markets in this story,
Okay.
represented in that story. And for print, our print headline is going to be different than our online headline for the same story.
Mhm. I see.
For space reasons, or you could say a lot more, or like you might run out of space in this, so you got to be real tight with the headlines in print, in the print version.
But the Salem News used to have a local section.
Oh yeah,
Okay, a local
I
section.
remember.
Now you have to go all over the place, and the stories are written where they do localize.
Yeah.
Some of the stories. But will they ever return back to that, just to have one section of local? You could turn to that, and that you're going to get all the news that you need.
Don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we still got to look at it too, as the news is also a business too.
Mhm.
So you got to do what works, financially, and at the same time do the job that we do, which is keeping the community informed. And the staffs and budgets that we had, 20 years ago, just not there anymore.
Right.
When you got Facebook and Google becoming the biggest news organizations on the planet, it's hard to compete with them, especially for like just to be seen. Let's not even talk about ad revenue and stuff like that. They're giants, and it's still in all newspapers, all media, all across the country and probably all across the world. Everyone is trying to figure out how the new way of this is going to go. We all have the same exact problems, and we just trying to figure out how do you compete with Google and Facebook, and the big social media companies now.
Okay, let's with the pandemic. How are you treating the pandemic? Every update.
Yep.
Every update that comes from the state, every update that comes from the
Locally,
CDC and locally,
yep.
health department and the CDC.
Yep.
Okay. Then you also have to try and encourage people who are not getting the vaccine and who will not go and get tested. You want to be helpful in that manner too. How do you balance that?
You gotta so
Because we just
people gonna have different opinions on anything, and this pandemic is no different. It's gonna be two sides: either I'm getting vaccinated or I'm not being vaccinated. The only thing we can do is put the information out there that has the best research done going into it,
Mhm.
the best supported information that we can. We can't sway you one way or another to take the vaccine, but we can make sure that the things that we putting out is credible,
Mhm.
in case you want to educate your own self on,
Those are the facts.
these are the facts
Mhm.
as they stand now,
Right.
because of course they can change, as they do more research into this. Even 5 years from now, probably be a whole different set of facts on how you report about the COVID-19 and what we understand about it. But as of now, the facts that can be verified, that got the evidence, that support the evidence, we put that out. That's our job as reporters,
Mhm.
as with anything else.
But you also write to, well, give the facts, but you want the Salem News should be an influencer in terms of trying to, well, people that respect the paper will read what you're writing to influence them to do the right thing, which is coming down from the CDC and the president and the local, as well as the state, the governor.
Yep.
Okay. How do you manage all of that? Because we definitely, not only Saginaw, but Bay City, Midland, we need that type of influence. Okay. What can you do to help that?
Just keep with the information, the stories, report the stuff. Something is going to catch someone's ear at some point. But if they don't know it, how can you fault someone for something they don't know or hasn't been presented to them? And so that's where my job comes in. As best as I can, I keep the information flowing, and tell it in ways that engage people or make them actually want to read it. I mean, like with any story we write, it's different. We can put out everything that the CDC says or the health department or the governor says, but to some people that might be boring. Sometimes they might need to read how it's like to be, how to have Mother's Day during a pandemic, and there'd be a bunch of information in there as well. So it's just different type of ways to get the information out to our readers and to our community.
At some point in time, I believe that we're going to have those cards, handy, when you travel, when you maybe go into a restaurant or want to, be admitted to the park.
Yeah.
If you cannot show that you have been vaccinated or been tested and you're not positive, it's going to present a problem for those who feel that their rights are being taken away from them by not being admitted. So that part of it, people need to understand, especially our young people. And I think, they're having trouble. We are having trouble getting 16 to 35, 40-year-olds, those young people. Okay. Have you had yours?
Both shots.
Both shots. Very good. Very good. Which one did you get?
Moderna.
Okay. How about you?
Moderna.
Okay. Good.
What's this? Yeah. That's just a tricky one right there. We've done podcasts on these shots for MLive. We've had the Dr. Pruitt from the health department
yes.
explain how a vaccine. It seemed like some people think that this vaccine just came out of nowhere, and it's just something that she explained that has been worked on. Coronavirus has been around. COVID is just a different strand of it.
Right.
So they've been working on these vaccines for years, and they just have to kind of just pick up where like MERS was a coronavirus or SARS. And,
right. That's right.
and they had to work on vaccines for that. But it's just it's crazy that this is the thing that's dividing the country right now. It's like you got people at the top trying to get us vaccinated and get us back up and running and healthy. But this is one thing that's it got politicized to the point that it just divides the entire country now.
Right. Well, all the information is on your cell phone, on your telephone. They can look up anything. Now, do they not trust Google, to give them the right information? Or do they not trust the Saginaw News or the Detroit Free Press or whatever. Okay. The credibility, I guess, the conspiracy theories that are out here, and there are a lot of them. Okay. Young people, and again, all the way up to the age 60, 70 years old. I think the 60 to 70, 80-year-olds, they all got the vaccine, most of them. But under that age, I'm going to wait. It's going to be too late. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now, I had to be convinced of that. And then I started reading information.
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared to get mine, but it's like, I lost friends from COVID too. So do I want to take that chance, or do I want to take the chance of getting vaccinated? So it was scary. But and that's the thing. There's so much information out here. That's why it's important that people find a news source that they trust. Now, you don't have to like it because, I'm sure I'm still going to get emails and text messages and something go up on MLive that nobody like, but I'm gonna ask them, but is it right? Is it correct?
Right.
So in order to get information, the best way is to find something that's credible. And just because it's just so much out here, it's so easy to get tricked into looking at something that looks credible, but is really not. It's something somebody just made up at home and published online or something.
What does the National Association of Black Journalists, what do they say about the reporting of COVID and how it should be addressed for the African American community?
It's like the same way. Get the information out there and figure out. We are asking these same questions, like why Black people don't trust the virus, and then you had the conversations. Well, you remember the Tuskegee experiment. You remember Flint still going through a water crisis caused by his own government. So we don't trust a lot, and it's easy to believe a conspiracy too, and we just, once that gets in your head, it's kind of hard to break away from, because you find more reasons to align with and more reasons and facts that align with your beliefs or so-called facts than you will of what's actual, what it actually is. If you want to believe one thing, you're going to go out and find the evidence to back that up, instead of what is probably, no matter how wrong it is.
Right. Well, I want to spend just a few more minutes on telling people Happy Mother's Day. I'd like you to take out your phone, go to your contacts, and let's do some shout outs. As you're looking, let me tell you about this. There's some information on your phone about the how to get a $50 discount on your internet bill from the FCC. Look that up and find out how you can get that. The Attorney General said that they're heading to trial about the voter suppression robocalls case. The appeals court turned it down for dismissal, so they're heading to that. So I think that they're doing a pretty good job. Also, there's some new information about unemployment benefits. You may get a tax break from the IRS, and here's when and how. So please look that up. You don't want to miss any of that good information as it comes down. And in terms of our Sunday civics, we want to keep your phone up, Bob.
Oh, okay. I'll put them in my head.
All right. We want you to know about your your voting rights. Okay. We have some pamphlets still in the NAACP office about knowing your voting rights, although it looks like they're going to change. But you can also find out on how to contact your legislators in this little book. So you can call the NAACP office at 752-0614 and get you a copy of that and become and stay civically engaged. We're going to need your help. Bob, I want you to select some people that you want to say Happy Mother's Day to from your contact list. I want you to do the same, Miss Sandra, these last few minutes that we have.
Mine is simple. I really want to tell my daughters, Sean and Destiny, happy Mother's Day.
Okay.
My sister Shanice. Oh man, so many.
That's why I told you to take out your phone. See?
I could be going through this list forever.
Well, while you pick out a few more that are dear to your heart, Miss Sandra, how about you?
I don't know. You're trying to get me in trouble. So I'll just do my sisters and my aunts.
Okay.
Irene Thomas, Juliana Williford, Stephanie Crosby, and Candisha Crosby.
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
All of them too.
Well, listen, I have a whole list because my phone was blowing up this morning.
Oh, and Bonnie Dunbar.
Don't want to forget anybody.
See?
See?
Once you start,
Yeah,
you're like,
well,
oh.
I wrote mine down. There are a lot of people that I want to say Happy Mother's Day to. And if I could just mention these few names, my sister Cookie Linda Williams, my sister-in-law Penny Lynn Hunter Williams, who was married to my brother, and my best girlfriend Carolyn Mason, who is going RVing across Michigan soon.
Wow.
My niece Tracy, my little family who are great steadfast friends till this day and really cool mothers, just like their mother was, Lubertha Little, Betsy, Linda Little, Gail, my Harbin family, and Flint and Saginaw, Tracy and Ida, and Margaret in Atlanta. Okay. And Mrs. Leola Wilson, who's president emeritus of the Saginaw NAACP, and her daughter Rhonda. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Contessa, Tolerance, I miss you and I miss your mother, Pat. She was a good friend. I don't know how I'm going to walk the park without her being here. And she's a grandmother to baby Kay. All of my classmates in the Saginaw High class of 1968, there's a bunch of us. Happy Mother's Day. And also to Galen's mom, Mrs. Bond, and many others. There's also Yvonne Daniels, who is here at KISS 107, and Rosa Holiday. They've been texting me all day with Mother's Day greetings. Natharina Pickens, I said Rosa, and these are people who some of them don't have children. Okay. Mm-hmm. But they stand in the gap, and they're still standing in the gap to help young people, in this community. Rosa doesn't have any children, but Rosa stands in the gap to get people to understand civics and how to become engaged. And I really appreciate that. And she never forgets me. And I do appreciate that. So I hope that each and every one of you have had a wonderful Mother's Day, and hope that you enjoyed hearing your name on the air.
Can I add 3 more?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
I did local, but let me do my aunts who are out of town.
Yes, ma'am.
Because maybe their daughters are here and tell them.
Okay.
Frances Martin, Ashley Parks, my pastor's wife, our first lady, Georgette Frierson, and my sister Stacy Crosby.
Okay, very good.
A heavenly shout out to my mother, Felicia Martin, and my grandmother, Gladys Johnson.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Yes, and my mom, Emma Crosby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Auntie Emma. We can do this all day.
Yeah.
Right. So we may as well do our grandmother, Irene Martin.
Yeah. That's right. But listen, I want to say thank you to the both of you. Thanks, Sandra, for coming in with Bob and to share this day and share his good news about his job and everything that he's doing. We could go. There's a lot more that we need to talk to you about, but I appreciate you coming in this afternoon.
I appreciate you inviting me.
Yes. You are a jewel for us.
Thank you.
Here in the community and with the Saginaw News.
Thank you.
So we hope that you'll keep up the work. Anytime you need to call on us, please do.
Will do.
So again, thanks to my guests today, and I invite you to tune in next Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. for another sharing of community talk and information. Community Connections. It's community talk for community people. Next Sunday right here on this station. And thank you to those who make this program possible. The Connectors. The Community Connections theme song was written by local author, poet, and social activist Sigurd Mersha, and performed by Gone. Today's Community Connections radio magazine is brought to you by the Saginaw NAACP and its Youth Council. Remember, membership is power, get connected, be informed, and stay involved. And I want to remind you that at the NAACP on our website, there is information about how to get a job at McDonald's. They are looking for people, and the information and the application is there, and a link for everything that you need. So please go there if you have a young person over the age of 16 who is looking for a job right now. They're hiring on the spot. Thanks for being here,
Thank you.
and tune in next week.
You've been listening to Community Connections with Joyce Harvin on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Community Connections by the host, its guests, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station.